So I'm sure you've heard from countless people in my year that term 3 is definitely one of the best times of the year. But one thing that isn't necessarily the best time, but one thing that isn't necessarily the best thing in this time of the year is, you guessed it, exams. When it comes to exams, we're anyway really stressed. And given the situation that we're in right now with the pandemic and everything, that's a whole different element of stress that I'm sure none of us have been prepared for, especially students in second year and first year right now. You guys haven't had the opportunity to do your exams in the pandemic environment. And here's where I want to step in and give you guys some things and some pointers in terms of what exams kind of have looked like in the past for me in terms of prior experience that I've had, and what really worked for me in terms of preparation, and what advice I would give to you in terms of how to prepare for these exams. So, first thing I'd like to talk about in terms of exams is what I'm kind of expecting in terms of what the exams would be.
Movie magic. Anyways, so the reason this bit is in a different setting is that I found some new information and the uni sent me some new information about how exams would work. So I just thought I'd update the video with that. So in terms of how long you will have to complete your online assessment, so your department has made one of the following choices with regards to the timing of online assessments. These are: 1. Timed assessment to be completed within a 24-hour window. This is a timed assessment. However, you will be able to start your assessment at any time within the 24-hour window. The counter will start running from the time at which you access your assessment. If you are taken to a different tool, for example Moodle or question mark perception, then your time counter will restart there. It is not possible to stop the clock during the assessment. You must make sure you also complete within the 24-hour window. For example, if you have a 3-hour exam, once you have started the exam, you need to complete it within the following 3 hours, once the timer has started. Also, you must make sure that you have enough time within that 24-hour window in order to complete your exam before the window passes. 2. Timed assessment starting at a set time. Your assessment will take place at a set time and has to be completed by a set time. You must start your assessment at the time stated. If you start after this time, you will be deemed to have started late and you will not have the full duration of your assessment. And type 3, timed assessment up to 24 hours duration. In a limited number of cases, there may be assessments that can be completed at any time within the 24 hours window with no time constraints. Your department will advise you if this is the case. The counter will start running from the time at which you access your assessment. For example, you could start your exam at 9 a.m. and work on it until 10 a.m. and return to finish it at 2 p.m. Your department may give an indication on a suggested amount of time to spend on the assessment. And yeah, that's the updated information with regards to exams and how they might look like. On with the video.
In terms of how I'm preparing for these exams, it's always tricky. And last year, I had the added kind of negative aspect, which is I didn't get to engage in that much group study or like collaborative learning as I did in first year, and that had really helped me kind of hash out the key concepts and figure out how to tackle a particular question or a particular essay prompt or anything along those lines. So I feel that last year was a bit lower in terms of essay prep, but I know that this year I will look to incorporate those aspects via like group study on Teams and just trying to get in touch with my peers over all the virtual platforms. And when hopefully restrictions permitting, maybe I'll be able to catch up with them at some point. So I'm planning to capitalize on that aspect this year. And also, definitely, one thing that I will suggest that you do, and one thing that I definitely will implement this year, is making notes and like making them systematically. From my experience last year, we did have a lot of exams which were open book, so we could refer to textbooks and notes during the exams. It seems easier than it is because you could be like, oh, it's open book, I don't need to prepare, and I'll just refer to the textbook and it's gonna be fine. No, 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 no. Don't make that mistake. I'm glad I did not because I had my notes prepped because my dad keeps telling me this from his time at university. An open book exam is oftentimes more tough than a closed book exam simply because you're scrambling to find the parts of the book where the key information is kept, and that eats up on valuable time which you could use to write your answers. So what I would suggest is having your notes organized in order so that you can easily access them. Like you can figure out what's where and you can reach for it at the points that you need it if it's an open book exam. So that's definitely one takeaway that I had from last year, and that's something that I'd like to pass on to you. In terms of advice that I'd like to give to PPE students, I would definitely stress on group study. I really cannot express to you how important it was for me in first year to catch up with my friends, and at that point we could like rent book. At that point we could like book rooms and like different departments, maybe book a seminar room in social sciences or humanities, but it was just the best because you could like hook your laptop up to the projector, you could project the reading you want to tackle or like a particular practice paper that you're working on, and then you can use the resources in that room and you can just brainstorm collectively as to how best to tackle each question. And it is really an extremely underrated aspect of university education, and it's something that's been scarce and scant, especially in times of the pandemic. So what I would try to recommend to you is try to reach out to as many of your peers as you can. Make use of the study groups that I'm sure a lot of modules have been trying to implement, because I feel like they also understand, like our lecturers and the module leaders do understand the importance of that group study element in all three of the disciplines that make up PPE. So I would recommend that maybe if you found a really great study group, stick to that, because there are benefits to be reaped across disciplines. Whether it's like in philosophy, you need to figure out how to plan out an essay and figure out if your essay plan for a particular essay prompt has some gaping holes in it, which someone who has also studied the matter of that essay or like the topic covered in that essay can easily point out to you. Or when it comes to politics and you need to brainstorm on essay plans again or just understand some of the key theories, it really helps to have a group of people who have different perspectives on those theories to help cement your understanding of that, you know? It's invaluable. And in terms of economics, I do not need to emphasize on how helpful it has been for me, especially in first year, which is the last time I was able to do this, that I could sit with my friends and like crack through like the tougher theory aspects or like even like the mathematical and graphical problems that are in economics most of the time. It really helps to have someone who has a similar level or even greater level of understanding of economic theory and models and the computation behind it to help guide you through your like prep and everything. Group study is amazing, and I would really recommend, if you can, to just catch up with your friends. Maybe if you've managed to create some amazing study groups already, utilize those. It's like a very undervalued resource. And yeah, I hope I've been able to give you some things which you can really implement into your essay prep, and hopefully I've been able to give you a better picture of how exams might look like for you and how you can maybe prepare for it. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you took away something from this. And if you liked video format from if you liked the video format content, just let me know and I'll do more content like this. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day and a great Easter break.